Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Rocket Rabbit Commentaries run-through of Harmony of Dissonance on the Game Boy Advance. And in this episode, after having Death explain to us what the fuck is going on with our two different castles, we're going to be exploring the second castle's clock tower.
Could it possibly be Dracula's castle, past Gerdat?
Well, it's technically Dracula's castle, but you know... But it's not actually complete yet, so Death refuses to call it as such.
Dun, 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 dun,
hey, Skulls and Blaze. Skulls and Blaze are one of the most annoying enemies. Not the Skeleton Blaze, but the upgraded version of Skeleton Blaze, the Blaze Master, is one of the most annoying enemies in this game. We will be having to deal with them slightly later. We got a tall clock, which is another one of the decor items.
Decor.
Make sure that you hit the save point before you go into this upcoming boss. Not because this boss is hard, but because this is the first save point that you get access to after you deal with the spoilers that Death throws at you. Also, it's the first save point you get access to that allows you to attempt to explore the clock tower portion of the second castle.
So which would you rather have, Mr. Gerdat? Would you rather have the spiffy hat or the nice pants?
It kind of depends on their stat bonuses, specifically in this game. I mean, the spiffy hat isn't actually going to affect Juice's model, so honestly, I'm not even entirely sure if he enjoys them. But the nice pants probably actually affect his stats slightly more. You know, they cover more of his body. So probably, probably the nice pants.
Good choice. Good choice. Although me, on the other hand, I think I would rather do the spiffy hat, even if the spiffy hat was not as effective as nice pants. I mean, if there are some games where if I do not get a sweet headgear for my character so that I can see it from behind while he's being all badass wearing goggles and shit, then I might not just enjoy my time as much.
Yeah. Thankfully, I don't actually have that problem myself. And here we have a rather interesting mechanic. This bronze garter you most certainly can kill, but if you do so, you will not be. You will have to do this room again because killing him is not the puzzle. Killing him with the hammer allows you to break through the wall, and we need to do that in order to continue exploring this half of the castle.
Interesting. It reminds me very much of in Sekiro when you had to use the puppeteering ninjutsu in order to take control of an enemy, not so you could kill other enemies, but so that the puppeteered enemy would operate a kite for you, because you need somebody standing there at all times in order to operate the kite.
No, you actually did show that off. Anyway,
I did.
Here is one of the more intriguing puzzles in the game. We have to race this iron bearing all the way to the end of this course.
Slide kick. It appears that Juste is in the lead. Ow. Still in the lead.
It is important that you know how and when to spam the left and right dashes for this, as well as when and why to use the slide. We'll come back to that slide room that we showed off there in a moment, but I want to finish this race first.
Kick, 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 kick.
Did we actually get it? I mean, it looks like we did. We did!
Yay! I have no idea how you could have lost at that point.
We got the healing mail and the heart choker. Okay, now we got to go back to the slide room that we saw. The heart choker is an accessory that increases the value of hearts that you pick up when you destroy candles and such. Nice. The healing mail, I believe, allows you to slowly regenerate health while you're walking around the castle. I think you still have to actually be moving in order for it to be active, though. Or it increases the effectiveness of healing items when used by Juste.
God damn, we have to travel far.
All right, the lucky ring, which is really important for us, and the raccoon figure. Yes, past Gerdat with the lucky ring is attempting to find all three. I believe it's 3 of the luck items throughout the game. Specifically because having a full luck set for most of the castle exploration allows us to get some pretty interesting drops. Whoosh. So what is new in the world of Cloud as we attempt to complete this race without actually having an opponent this time?
Well, I let a bee out of the window that I had stuck in there since yesterday. That was nice that I was able to, you know, not have the bee lose its life just because it got stuck in the house.
Yeah, bees are important, kids. I know they're somewhat painful to have around, but that doesn't mean that they need to be deaded.
Well, bees are the most innocuous thing you can have land in your house, because bees, they just want to do their job. They're not trying to just fuck with you like wasps or hornets. That's why I had no problem putting my fingers right next to the bee. I had no problem because I had to put my fingers into the unlock for the window pane so I could let him out. And you know, he was chill. He just wanted some fresh air. He didn't want to fuck with me, and he flew right out.
That was very nice of him.
Stop. Hammer time.
Ack! A wall!
Bring me a hammer! Please!
But the giant hammer is in the room over there and we can't move it. Damn it.
Fast travel would be really nice right now.
Oh, come on. We have fast travel between the 2 castles, just not inside each of the castles that we have.
God. Damn.
Plus, we're still trying to go forward in the 2nd castle, so we don't need to be doing any significant backtracking right now. Use the save room before after we have successfully done the easier of the 2 ball bearing races, because yes, there's another ball bearing race that we have to do later on. I don't think you actually have to do, in quotation marks, the ball bearing race, but it's a good idea to do so because they have interesting items there. This is a rather small boss, isn't it, Mr. Cloud? Especially since we can one-shot it with a critical hit.
That wasn't a boss. That was a normal enemy. Oh my god.
Now, behold, the Peeping Big. I think this is the only time in the entirety of Castlevania that Peeping Big actually shows up. And it is very much here as a throwaway boss enemy.
It's pretty pathetic. He's not really doing all that much. He's just swinging his low-lying weapon around, so as long as we're on the high ground. Okay, well now he's attacking all ranges. And then he stops. And he's open to hits.
The big problem that you have to worry about is the fact that every time that he hits the wall, he rebounds slightly backwards, and if he's attacking during that, you're likely to get hit.
As good as this creature's vision is, I just don't see the point.
Yeah, to be perfectly honest, this is one of the boss designs that I have to agree is mostly is almost completely superfluous. He's here because both castles need to have boss rooms at the same spot in order for the thematics to actually work like they're supposed to.
And he was just a bunch of balls all along.
Yeah. A devil is honestly a devil is an expansion of a concept that they use in Symphony of the Night, where a boss enemy gets demoted down to a normal enemy later on. Whereas a Peeping Big is an evolution of that concept, but in the other order. We've been seeing a Peeping Eyes all throughout the castle, and now here's a boss variant of it. Thing is, making a boss variant of a monster that is mostly a joke monster usually ends up having that boss monster be a joke in and of itself. The same thing happened technically with Max Slimer, but at least Max Slimer had a more interesting fight going on with it, even if it was just as unthreatening. Ghosts and specters. I hate the fact that the 2nd castle is absolutely riddled with specters. As mentioned by Pastor Dead here. Specters have a lot of fucking HP. I think they're technically at 110 HP, meaning that it's really difficult for Juste to ever be able to 2-shot them. And not only is it relatively difficult for Juste to 2-shot them, it is also whenever Juste actually hits them, they go into a semi-invulnerable state where they back up and reposition themselves in order to attack you. And also, their sword isn't the hitbox; it's the shadow behind the sword. This enemy would later get repurposed into Alistair in both Dawn of Sorrow and Aria of Sorrow, and it's honestly much better there, specifically because it is a endgame enemy where dealing with it is most certainly is slightly simpler, even if it does hit harder. More observant players would notice that there was a skeleton attached to one of those gears. It's not important that you notice that, but it is a thing that you can notice.
The game is trying to teach you that just as Juste has a body that can get grinded into the wheels, so too can you approach the wheel and interact with it just like that skeleton had tried to. Do not be afraid.
It is very,
of the gears.
very important that you explore the entirety of the clock tower when on this first trip, because you need to know about this fucking room. That is a key item that we cannot get for quite some time, but we need to know it exists.
So,
and I'm choosing to not do the pendulum puzzle because I don't want to do the pendulum puzzle. It is mean, and every time I try to do it, I get knocked by the Medusa heads into the spikes and be unhappy about it.
The Gears was the name of a Death Clock song that they actually used in order to get people amped for new episodes of Death Clock, Season 2 specifically, when Death Album 2 had come out. And the lyrics of that song are, become a part of the cog, become a gear.
But that is supposed to be either a satire or a direct reference to the fact that punk metal has always been, against the conformity of blue collar America.
I would love to hear an 8-bit version of The Gears by Death Clock.
Thankfully, Cloud and I are at almost no risk of committing Karoshi.
Slap the Arabaka. What? In a game that, uses garters and skeletons and zombies and ghosts, and now all of a sudden we got Arabaki. Daisuke. No, Subgenrola.
Oh, look, another mana prism.
Gibberish. Oh, that looked like lipstick.
Alright, here is one of my favorite recurring bosses, Legion version Saint. I love the Saint version of Legion. Saint Legion is a recurring Castlevania enemy that I really wish got more exposure in other Castlevania games. He's in most of the Igavanias. He is missing specifically from Dawn, but as we covered in our playthrough of Dawn, I choose to believe that the demon that Dimitri fused with at the end of the game in order to become Menace was actually Legion.
I just can't believe that such a recognizable Igavania boss would just be standing in the middle of the room, like no introduction, no nothing, just boom, he's there, go kill him. Are we even locked in here?
Yes, we are locked in here.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, okay, so he's got that going for him, is that he shut the door behind us.
And his very slow drifting to side is honestly dealing more damage to me than his lasers are, so. Try to avoid the lasers. You can tell where they're going to fire because they stall out for like approximately 2 seconds and then fire. So
yeah, it's got a pretty easy tell. I can recognize when they're about to fire. Yep, the one on top is about to fire.
There we go. We have successfully slain Legion Saint.
Hell yeah.
Which, of course, gives us access to the Windy Chapel area from the first castle. Although, now that we're in the second castle... yeah. Alright, get to the save room.
Item get.
And in the next episode, we'll continue exploring the second castle. Be safe, everybody.
Finish!